Yesterday in Strasbourg, France, a member of the European Parliament, Daniel Hannan of southeast England, spoke during the visit of the British Prime Minister Gordon Brown. He took it to Gordon Brown and left nothing on the table. And this is exactly the kind of thing the opposition party in this country needs to be saying to President Obama. We have 3 sound bites. Here's the first.
Prime Minister, I see you've already mastered the essential craft of the European politician, namely the ability to say one thing in this chamber and a very different thing to your home electorate. Perhaps you would have more moral authority in this House if your actions matched your words. Perhaps you would have more legitimacy in the councils of the world if the United Kingdom were not going into this recession in the worst condition of any G20 country.
Gordon Brown's trying to keep up with Barack Obama on printing money and spending money that his country doesn't have, and they're fed up with it over in Great Britain. They are fed up with it. This is one of his own countrymen at a European Parliament meeting in Strasbourg, France. Here's the second soundbite.
The truth, Prime Minister, is that you have run out of our money. The country as a whole is now in negative equity. Every British child is born owing around £20,000. Servicing the interest on that debt is going to cost more than educating the child. Now, it's not that you're not apologising. Like everyone else, I've long accepted that you're pathologically incapable of accepting responsibility for these things. It's that you're carrying on, willfully worsening our situation, wantonly spending what little we have left. Last year, in the last 12 months, 100,000 private sector jobs have been lost, and yet you created 30,000 public sector jobs. Prime Minister, you cannot carry on forever squeezing the productive bit of the economy in order to fund an unprecedented engorgement of the unproductive bit.
Now, the last part of that is fascinating. Now, but again, the whole thing is great because this is, again, European Parliament member Daniel Hannan taking it to Gordon Brown at the European Parliament meeting in Strasbourg, France. This was yesterday. But the last item here in that particular soundbite, Prime Minister, you cannot carry on forever squeezing the productive bit of the economy in order to fund an unprecedented engorgement of the unproductive bit, meaning you can't keep taxing the achievers and giving it to the unachievers. And see, that's obviously true. I mean, it's economically true, it's logically true, it's mathematically true, it's true everywhere you want to. These guys all know it. The difference is they intend this. These are socialists. These are statists. 100,000 British jobs lost while 30,000 government jobs. Government gets bigger. Same thing happening here. 600,000 Americans lose their jobs every month in this country, up to 8.1% unemployment, on our way to 10%, and the government keeps hiring. It's being done on purpose. It is a purposeful restructuring of free market societies to socialist societies, socialist democrat societies, with the government as the giant power broker that runs and is in control of everything. It's being done on purpose. This is not people making mistakes. This is not people who don't understand what they're doing. They understand fully what they are doing. These are people who don't believe in individual liberty, people who don't believe in individual freedom, people who don't think that you have what it takes to deal with all that freedom. You'll make a mess of it. You need to be controlled. You need to be programmed. You need to be directed into certain spheres of work and play, because otherwise we'll all suffer. There's a story I have here from, I'll have to check where this is from, Daily K. It's one of the European papers. And what's happening is that they're having flyovers. Spy planes, here it is. It is the Daily Mail. UK Daily Mail. Council uses spy plane with thermal imaging camera to snoop on homes, wasting energy. In Great Britain, snooping on the public has reached new heights, with local authorities putting spy planes in the air to snoop on homeowners who are wasting too much energy. They are using thermal imaging cameras to create color-coded maps that will enable council officers to identify the offending homeowner and pay him a visit to educate them about the harm to the environment and measures they can take to reduce their usage. And there's a picture here They've already spent 30,000 pounds using a spy plane carrying a thermal camera to determine which homes are wasting energy. And there's a picture. Let me show you to you here on the Ditto Cam. There's a picture of a UK home from the spy agency that shows that home is vastly overusing energy, according to the little control Nazis at the British government. My point is, this is not accidental. This is not people making mistakes. This is not people who don't know what's right. Same thing in the United States. Same thing. It's just patently ridiculous last night to listen to Barack Obama talking about saving and reducing deficits while he's expanding them to $10 trillion over 10 years. But he gets away with it because he says he's going to cut the deficit. It's only going to be $8 trillion over 10 years. So that's a cut. It's just like the Democrats, the Washington Post, everybody else saying, Democrats not happy with Obama budget. They're going to cut the budget. They're going to cut Obama's budget. And there's that magic word cut. And the word cut, it carries weight. When you tell the uninformed, the uneducated, and the mob that the budget's being cut, they don't have any recourse other than to think they're going to lose services. Okay, so Obama submits a $3.6 trillion budget. The Democrats find, $100 billion in it that's too much, or $500 billion in it's too much. And so they claim they're going to cut it. So 3.6 becomes 3.55. And therefore it's a cut, when it's actually an increase of $5.5 billion over the current budget, or $4. There's no cut. There's never a cut. A cut in what's projected, but the word cut is used. The drive-bys dutifully fall in line. Oh, my God, we're cutting services. We're cutting this. We're cutting that. There are no cuts, just like there are no cuts in the deficit. How you can take a deficit from $400 billion to $8 trillion and claim you're cutting it, that's Barack Obama. Here's the final bite from Daniel Hannan to Gordon Brown, the Prime Minister of the UK.
You cannot spend your way out of recession or borrow your way out of debt. And when you repeat in that wooden and perfunctory way that our situation is better than others, that we're well placed to weather the storm, I have to tell you, you sound like a Brezhnev-era apparatchik giving the party line. You know, and we know, and you know that we know that it's nonsense. Everyone knows that Britain is worse off than any other country as we go into these hard times. The IMF has said so. The European Commission has said so. The markets have said so, which is why our currency has devalued by 30%, and soon the voters too will get their chance to say so. They can see what the markets have already seen, that you are the devalued Prime Minister of a devalued government.
Yeah. Republicans in Washington could take a lesson from the bravery of this man. We'll be back.